welcome to the Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law Show, hosted by me, yours truly, Jeffrey Bellomo, where we discuss all things estate planning and elder law, and, well, hey, anything else we want to talk about. Today is going to fall under the category of estate planning and elder law, and a little bit of, hey, what else we want to talk about. I have a dear friend of mine with me today, Jacob Sherman. Jacob, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great, Jeff. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Man, I'm excited. So we'll do our little disclaimer before we get into the podcast. As always, please do not take anything you hear on this show, or any other show for that matter, to constitute legal advice. If you're looking for legal advice, please reach out to an attorney licensed in the state that you live in the practice area that you're looking for, and they can provide legal advice for you about your specific situation. This show and any other show is intended for informational and educational purposes only, and we would certainly be happy to help you. We have offices in York and Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and we educate for free. So if you're ever looking for free educational workshops, we offer workshops in the pre-planning context, the crisis planning context, as well as special needs. And if you lose a loved one, please call our office to discuss probate and trust administration, and we also have education in that regard as well. And probably the person that you're going to hear on the phone is the person that you're going to be meeting today. So, Jacob, you are the everything in our firm. We love having you. Clients service extraordinaire is what I like to call you. And you're the voice on the phone. So tell us about how you found us and what you do for the firm, man.
Sure. So, I started my journey with Bellomo last August. I actually got to know about the job from a previous attorney that I'd worked for, who also had a long relationship with Jeff. Never surprises me when I hear Jeff had a long relationship with someone anymore. Seems to have old friends all over the place. And I got to working a little bit with our Medicaid team here, and was definitely excited because that'd been somewhat of the job that I'd been doing. But pretty quickly after that, there suddenly was a need for someone on the phones who could relate with people a bit, and, really talk to them about what's going on, and, hear their story a bit, and really be able to help them, learn the Bellomo process and become part of the family. And I've just really fallen into a great place here, and absolutely love getting to talk to all of our clients, sometimes being that first touch, and, just getting to watch their journeys from there. It's great.
Yeah, man, it's cool. I have the pleasure every now and then when I see you in the office to hear you on the phones a little bit, and it is so cool. Your passion for what you do, and to try to help people get the answer, whatever that means for them, right? Whatever that is, you always go above and beyond, dude. So that is that's awesome. It's very cool.
Appreciate it.
And what a great voice for the first person who calls into the office to learn about the Bellomo family, to have you there explaining it. So it's really, really cool for me. Really enjoying it. So
thank you. Yeah. I got to say, even from the culture we all have with each other to the cultures we have with our clients, it really does feel like a family. And that's, it's something that, people don't realize until they're kind of exposed to it. So it's a great thing.
I think from the outside, sometimes people feel like, oh, sure, you say that. Sure, until you experience it, I don't know that you can actually tell someone about it to a point where they'll believe it, but
sometimes,
it's pretty cool. What would you say is the favorite thing about your job that you do?
Honestly, I really do love hearing the stories that people have. Sometimes, it's not the greatest situations, but, I love to hear what people are going through, because I have a big heart. I've always had a big heart. My mom said that since I was young. I just love people. Many times when I'm answering the phone, I probably have a smile on my face, even though I'm the only one sitting in this room, just because, it's an opportunity to maybe meet someone. Even if it's just a voice, it feels great. And, even in situations when people call in that it's not a happy situation, they're not looking to make plans. Maybe something went the wrong way, or falling apart, or loved one's sick. It brings me a lot of energy and pride to be able to be there to help them, knowing that I have a chance to help them. It's great.
Yeah. And I know for me, and you probably experienced this a little bit as well, I may be the one that does the meeting and you may be the one that answers the phone, but at the end of the day, man, there's 30 other people around us that are helping, and I have the utmost confidence in everyone on the team that they're going to do what they need to do and come through on the promises that we're making. And I know at other places that I've worked at, it was very hard to be making promises fairly confident that the team may not be able to come through on it. And it's kind of neat now to not, at least I don't have that concern. I'm able to make a promise and say we're going to do this and that and know that we're going to come through on it. And it really is the team around us. And I imagine for you, it's the same thing, right? You talk to them a couple times, but from that point forward, it's like, okay, team, take me from here, right?
Yeah. And it's the other great part too, is since knowing the team so well and how well everyone knows what they're doing, I know that once I'm passing that information along to our client services team or whoever the person is I need to get them in touch with, they're in good hands. They're going to be taken care of. And I love that.
Yeah. I had a client the other day that said to me, well, I talked to this person for this, and then I called in and I got this person for that, and I got this person for this. Isn't there one person who knows everything? And I said, well, when you go to a foot specialist or you call a heart surgeon or you go, and he's like, wow, I never thought of that. I'm like, no, like you want somebody who really knows. I probably know the most about everything as far as the overview of the law and the overview of all the practice areas. Right. But the day-to-day sort of tasks and things that have to be done in some areas, I would have no idea, right? I mean, I don't do that on a regular basis. So it is cool to have a specialist that just does really one thing. I mean, most of us are pretty, well, I guess you guys on the phones kind of have to know a little bit about everything, just enough to get them in the right area. But man, generally speaking, we have one person for a specialty area, and that's what they do. So
yeah, it does feel that way. Everyone kind of has exactly, what they need to be doing and are able to really hone in on it. It's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like you alluded to, it can be hard when people are, have lost a loved one or someone's going into a nursing facility. Those are tough calls, man. And I'm sure that emotionally it's probably draining on some days, but at least we're giving them the help that they need, and that's got to be rewarding.
Oh, it's very rewarding, absolutely. Especially whenever, they're not even sure where to go. I don't necessarily have the answers, but I, have the guidebook in front of me to be able to help them get there. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. So I'd be remiss, not many people know this yet. I know a lot of people have kind of recognized on the podcasts that are being put out that, I've lost quite a bit of weight, at 100 pounds and feeling amazing. The why behind it is actually here before us today. So I was struggling with my weight, and I knew that Jacob had lost a significant amount of weight, which he'll talk about here in a minute. But I just remember calling him one day saying, dude, what are you doing? And I need help. And he explained this program called OPTAVIA. And it's completely changed my life. And I wouldn't be where I am without it. I mean, I'm often will text him randomly and just say, dude, thank you for saving my life. Thank you for changing my life. Thank you for kind of being the stand for me to help me and push me. And, I don't know that publicly I've actually said who it was behind the scenes. So it's you, my friend. Tell me about how you found OPTAVIA and what that looked like for you.
Yeah. So last September, there was a couple days in a row that I'd been feeling a little bit of pain, and I knew it was probably my weight. And, I'd been living the last 5-6 years of my life just very, very unhealthily. And I felt like I'd tried just about everything, from working out, really not knowing how to work out, trying to diet, all kinds of crazy fads and whatnot. And fortunately for me, I had a person who's now my health coach to this day, similar to what I've been able to help Jeff with a bit. She reached out to me. She's a family friend. My wife's one of her bridesmaids' mom. She's on the program.
Oh, I don't think I realized that.
Yeah, cool. She's very sweet. And she gave me a call because my wife had reached out and been like, hey, I heard you do this, coaching thing. Would you mind reaching out to Jake? She gave me a call and was just like, hey, we had a conversation. What's going on? And I explained a little bit about, I'm just always tired. Clothes aren't fitting. I wear the same, 6 outfits all the time because it's the only thing I feel comfortable in. Yeah. I'm not sleeping great. My sleep apnea is terrible. Right. She's like, well, how would you feel if I told you, I'm currently on a program that's helped me, get healthy, but it also didn't require me to go to the gym. And I was like, Really? I was like, because that's the thing I hate the most. I hated going to the gym, or even the thought of running on a treadmill, because that to me was like, that was torture.
Yep.
And she explained this program to me about how they lay out everything, so simply as far as getting your nutrition and the things you need to eat throughout the day, getting your water intake. And oh my goodness, in the first month, I saw a different person in the mirror already, and I was just hooked. I was like, I could not believe the difference it was making so quickly. And yeah, I know everyone's journey is a little bit different, and Jeff's is pretty similar to mine, if not even more incredible, because he's truly been dedicated to it since he started. And yeah, that's kind of how I got started. And I decided to become a health coach myself after about 3 months, because I noticed the weight loss and I just wanted to pay it back. I was so excited about the program that I wanted to be able to help other people too, because I knew what it was like to struggle and be like, I need to lose weight, but I just don't know how to start. So
Yeah, and we're a great team because I have no interest in being a health coach. Absolutely zero. I wanted to do it for me, and while I love seeing people succeed, and I want them to succeed, I get to help people in the practice and kind of see that part of it, and now I get to help people do it through the assistance of Jacob as a health coach, and he gets to work with them, and then I kind of come along on the journey from the sideline and see people. We've had several people that are family friends that my wife and I have talked to, and my wife is down 52 pounds, and she started on plan I think February 20th. Is that right, Jacob? It's around there.
yeah, yep. I think it was a little closer towards the start of February, but yeah, she's been on an incredible journey alongside you.
It's incredible. And so, people are noticing it in both of us. And while we don't want to be health coaches, we know Jacob's the best, and we know that he's got the biggest heart of anyone we know. And what would you say if I asked you, what does it mean to be a health coach? I mean, you talked about it a little bit, but what would you say to that?
So it's really just similar to what I'm doing my job here. There's instances of people, that I'm learning about or hearing about that are contacting me, that are looking for that kind of similar just help. For me, I'm willing to take a call anytime. Right. We all have our phones pretty much all the time, and It's never really bothered me if I got a text, over the weekend or a call. I encourage it. I try and reach out to clients, people I'm helping as often as possible, especially in the beginning, because there's a lot to figure out as far as little cooking things, as Jeff can probably attest. But, just being there as a resource, ultimately, feel free to ask questions. We have a lot of great resources online that we're a part of as well, that just kind of view, and it's good, but it's really rewarding just because I was there, and I'm still on my health journey as well. And to see a difference in people's lives, there's no greater reward than that, really.
Yeah, I look at pictures of the two of us from last year, and neither of us look anything. I mean, you're over 90. I'm right around there as well. And even my wife, when I look at pictures, like, we don't look like the same people. And not only is it the weight loss, but I'm just so much healthier. Like, I have so much more energy. I have so much more ability to do things that I never could have done. One of the things that I love, you mentioned earlier about trying all the fads, and I chuckled because I did too, right? I mean, I did the low carb thing, and I did this and that, and I stood on my head twice on Sunday and upside down if I had to. And the truth is that's not sustainable. Those aren't life healthy choices. And what's making me succeed personally, and I'd be curious to hear if you have a similar. Because I'm so crazy in terms of running speaking events and client meetings and between two offices, and I was just making horrific choices, right? It was stopping at fast food 2-3 times a day, and trust me, I wasn't ordering the salad with light dressing, So here I am consuming thousands of calories, and I can't do it. The fuelings, the fuelings of what the OPTAVIA are, what I believe is what makes this program different. And there's so many choices, and whether it's a bar or shakes or soups or chili or puddings or cookies, or the macros are the same, so that you're getting the right nutrition that you need to fuel your body every 2.5 hours. It just, I almost can't fail, because when my timer tells me it's time to eat, I eat, and I just keep drinking water all day long. I'm never hungry. What have you found? And not only what have you found, but what are your favorite fuelings?
Sure. So, there's been plenty of tricks I've also learned along the way as far as the fuelings go, like with the bars, splitting up maybe a double peanut butter and some kind of chocolate one that tastes like a Reese's, maybe, just as a little sweet tooth
Ooh,
thing, kind of half and half and on the bars. That's been a fun one. A lot of people have turned the shakes that we have, we get a shaker bottle into more of like a ice cream or almost like a yogurt consistency, but just, how much water you're adding. That's one of the benefits I think too of the fuelings is, any packaging that requires, hey, throw it in the microwave for a minute or add water. That's pretty much the extent of all the fuelings is add water or microwave or, open and eat really.
right.
But the instructions are right there on the back of the packaging and it's so easy to just up and go with it. Right. But that plays into the whole thing that got me overweight in the first place. And it sounds like you touched for a little bit too, but like just the convenience,
Yeah.
like I know I got to eat. What's convenient, what's easy, what tastes good. But so this was great because now these fuelings were convenient, but also they tasted pretty good.
Yeah.
And maybe they tasted, less good at first, but they really just surprises me how good they
Yeah,
are. So,
I love them. I really
yeah.
do. And for me, I know I'm doing a lot of bars. I love the soups, the chicken noodle soup, was it wild rice, I think is
The
the name of
wild
it.
rice mushroom, oh,
Oh
fantastic.
man, I love those. Now my wife does not necessarily like the soups, but she loves the oatmeal. Like it's funny how we
Eat that
have
every
very
morning.
different tastes, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's cool, but there's always choices and it's so easy and yeah, it's just been a heck of a fun experience and I like the idea of mixing the food. I never even thought of doing that.
Yeah, yeah, and as long as you're, cleanly cutting the portions in half, to be able to do, one and then later. I wouldn't save it a day or two. Some of the bars might seem stale once you open them, but yeah, the peanut butter and the chocolate, or I think someone told me they combined the chocolate mint and one of the lemon tarts. And I was like, chocolate and lemon, that sounds weird, but they said it was really good. I was like,
Wow.
that to me sounded like one of those internet fads where it was like put mustard on a devil dog or something, one of those internet.
Right.
No, I'm good on that one, but
Yeah, I don't need to try that. I don't need
yeah,
that one.
mixing them is definitely good. It works. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and even the baking, like what I don't do them all the time, but when I am kind of in the mood, like making the brownies and the cookies and the biscuits and things, and I do them on Sunday, and then I put them in Ziploc bags, and then it really just becomes no different than a bar. Like it becomes the exact same thing of just grabbing a bar, but I've already made them, and then it tricks my brain, at least for me. I'm eating cookies. And they're actually good. I mean, they taste good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm eating brownies. So I'm not depriving myself. And for me, the ability to not ever feel like I can't have something ever. Like, it's a journey. And when you get to your kind of, I don't know, optimal health or maintenance, I'm not sure what the exact term is, but you have to live your life then too. So it isn't a sentence of I'm never going to do. No, there's no such thing. It's be smart, get to the weight you want to get to, and then live life and keep an eye on it. And man, I'm loving it. Like it's just freaking amazing for me.
Yeah, and being able to incorporate certain things even back in, like healthy fruits and stuff, like you're doing. And I know you said too, you've even gotten to the point where you're enjoying working out, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I am.
And
I needed
did
that.
you think
And
you'd be there a
no,
year ago?
no. Well, I wouldn't have. No, there's no way.
Yeah.
No, and we, when you're doing the plan up front, I really would not work out. It definitely
Oh,
would
yeah.
not be the best idea in the world if you're just starting in it. But we're at a point now where both of us are over 90 pounds of weight loss, and we're at a place where we want to start working out again. And no, dude, I never would have thought I'd enjoyed it. But I love nothing more than texting you. Telling you kind of not only the weight loss part, but also the lifting and how I'm doing there, because now we have that in common and it's just really fun. Now, I'll tell you my favorite text, though, now that we're going back memory lane. The first week texting you that I lost 16 pounds, and then the second week texting you I lost 12 pounds, and then and I knew that wasn't sustainable. I knew darn well a lot of that was just water weight and just, making some changes, but man, it's addicting. It is so much fun to just see it coming off. I mean, and then of course it slowed down significantly, but it was still a pretty consistent number every week,
Right. And you've
right?
had a pretty significant journey in comparison to, what I'd even say is pretty common for people. I mean, yours was truly exponential. I think at one point, even people from, well, part of the team, and the organization a little bit were just like, making sure you're doing everything right and healthily. But they were just like, I don't know, it was a mix of just admiration, but also a little bit of concern, like, wow, he's really losing weight. Like, is this guy okay?
Yeah.
So, and yeah, it was clearly you're doing, it right. And everyone, has different results, certainly,
Yeah.
Some people maybe start out with just a few pounds, a week, and that's still great. I mean, to be able to say you're losing at all, no, being on this program and not having to hit the gym being like the key thing for me was great. So.
Yeah, and you just touched on one thing I definitely wanted to talk about is the community. I think I was around 80 pounds when I posted within the community a picture and just said, here's my journey. I started on this date and here's where I'm at. And, within 30, 40 minutes, I received 2 phone calls from you, I think your coach, right? And her coach, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. So
and just checking in, making sure everything's okay. They're very proud. I mean, they were extremely proud, very, great work, but also, hey, are you getting enough water? Are you eating enough? Are you being healthy? Are you, you know what? I think that's pretty cool that it's not just about, let's get someone, into the program. It's, we're going to be there alongside you the whole time and we're going to be with you. And even though they're not my coach directly, they're Jacob's coach and then his coach's coach. Like, that's freaking cool, man.
Yeah, it's honestly so great to have the full support team. There's so many people that I've met while, since I started, that are both, coaching, but also just friends encouraging you, cheering you on. Part of the community is, I've posted a number of times, and the support you get from people that you don't know, but you sometimes will see them post too. It's really great. But definitely the structure that's behind the coaches, they want you to always have that support. There's always someone who you can reach out to, and that's why they.
Well, and let's talk about the app, the Facebook page, and the recipes. I mean,
oh my gosh,
it is so much fun. I mean, when we're doing the lean and green meals, they tell you how many ounces of a protein and how many veggies and all that, which is great. How many fats you want, but. I'm not smart enough to come up with recipes. Like, I end up doing the same thing over and over just because I'm a creature of habit. But then you get on this app and there's literally, I don't know, hundreds, maybe thousands, I don't know, recipes. And you type in, I want to do a chicken dish, or I want to do a soup, or I want to do, and boom, you get recipes like crazy.
Right. Hey, I want something that kind of resembles pasta or linguine. You actually turned me on to, there's, option that's like hearts of palm. And they're, these noodles that are completely on program. And man, that's fantastic. You got to make them just right. They're a little particular if you don't drain them, rinse them or whatever. I've made that mistake.
They are.
They're good.
Yeah, I have too. I remember, for me, it was, I was craving chicken piccata.
Ooh.
And I just was like, okay, I have to get chicken piccata. And I was like, well, there's no way that's on plan. Like, there's no way. And sure enough, 3 or 4 recipes popped up. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And that's where I found it. I found the hearts of palm, and they have the rice, they have the linguine, they have spaghetti. They have every kind of vegetable noodle, right?
Yeah.
It looks like a pasta, but really it's a vegetable. And you can't even tell. I mean, as long as you make it right, you're right.
Right.
You can be a little particular, but man. And then as soon as I ate that, and I don't remember if that was one of the meals that I gave to you, but I got on a kick there for a while where, man, I was doing hearts of palm in different forms almost every day because I was like, dude, I feel like I'm eating pasta. I feel like I'm eating rice.
I was on a kick for a while. It's funny you say you were on a kick for something. There was actually a solid month and a half where I ate the exact same lean and green every single day. Yep. And it was just because, one, I got into making it really good and it was easy, but it was, just cauliflower rice, shrimp, and, some healthy fats like butter, a little bit of soy sauce, some red pepper chili flakes. It tasted like a great stir fry. And I ate it every single day because I could not get enough of it. It was great.
No way.
Yep.
Have you had it recently or no?
I actually just had it 2 nights ago.
Did you?
Yeah, I was like craving it again. It's, and it's funny which recipes really resonate with you, but that's actually one I made. Not that it's a recipe per se, it's a good lean ingredient,
Right.
but yeah, that's one I kind of concocted on my own that I just was like, wow, I got it.
Dude,
So
that's awesome. Yeah, and once you find something, especially when you're in a hurry a little bit, it is nice to have a go-to that you don't have to think a lot about. That okay, I can just grab this. I have lettuce in, or I have chicken, I have whatever, and just boom, I got one. Let's go. But yeah, it's worked out really well for me. So how? What's been the most rewarding thing for you as a health coach? I mean, I have no idea how many people you're working with these days, but what's been the most rewarding for you?
I want to say probably the first 4 days getting to work with people.
Okay.
Initially we start out just in the general health assessment to get an idea of where people are at. The program's really great working with like nutritional restrictions. If someone's like glucose intolerant or like maybe have a nut allergy, there's all kinds of ways to kind of work around that, which is awesome. Also taking into factors of if someone's diabetic and things like that.
Wow.
But the first 4 days, those were the hardest for me. And I made a point to call, each of those first 4 days to say, hey, how's it going? I think I even remember some of our calls that we had on those first 4 days, like, hey, need a little bit more water, just sometimes it's hard, especially starting out. I think you got to have around like 100 ounces of water in a day.
Yeah.
And like, that's how much I used to drink of, pop in a day.
Yeah, right. Me too.
If I really probably did the math, but to do it in water, it's tough. Sometimes, maybe a headache or something might come in there, but
Yep.
there's just things you can do. But once helping get people past that 4 days and they start to hit a little bit of that fat burn and they start to feel different, they start to really feel it, and hearing them say, I think I'm starting to get it now. I can start to feel a difference. I mean, that to me is all the reward I ever needed, because I remember feeling that for myself and how huge that impacted my life. Big part of the program is why are you doing this today? Just getting healthy, or what's your why, right? Mine was my son. Back last September, he was almost 1, and thinking, how many more years am I even going to see him at this rate? How many more years will I even get with him or my wife?
Right.
Because it didn't feel like many. So that was enough of a drive for me, and really, really happy now.
I agree.
Sure.
And if you're listening out there and you've been struggling with the journey as well, and your health isn't the best, and you're a little overweight, and you want to lose some weight, it's very possible. It's very, very doable. And I would encourage, give it a shot. Have nothing to lose but a lot of weight, and get real healthy. And I don't personally know of anybody who did it who didn't succeed. I mean, if you put your mind to it and you follow it, I mean, it has to work. And even people who don't, I mean, we know some people personally between us that maybe aren't following it to a T, and they're still losing crazy weight.
Right.
And
They're
it's
still
like,
doing
all right,
great.
well, they're on their journey, as you always say to me. We all have a different journey, so it doesn't matter what journey you're on, but taking steps. In my mind, maybe this isn't complete strict, the right verbiage here, but just, I would say, somebody asked me the other day, well, can I continue to, drink alcohol, and can I continue to do this and continue to do that? And I said, you know what, here's my advice. Go on plan, go strict for 5-6 months, get off the majority of your weight that you need to get off, and then assess it then.
Right.
But you're
not a bad idea.
Within a few days, you're not even going to crave it anymore. You're not even going to want it anymore. It's an addiction you have. And once you break the addiction, you're not even going to need it. I don't even need it anymore. Now when I try, if I have a sugar or if I have a drink, it's because I'm choosing that I want to do that evening, not because I have to. I need it right now. I don't need anything now. I choose to eat it because I want to. All right.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
right.
It's awesome, man. But, Thank you, Jacob. Thank you for changing my life and many other people.
And it's like I said, you really did the hard work. I was happy to be alongside you, just to be able to help you get some resources or answer some of your questions or even just encourage you. But man, it has been one of the greatest pleasures of my life, truly, to see what changes you've been able to make for yourself. Just even the environment in the world that you've created around you with Bellomo, like the positivity change of everything you do and touch around you. I mean, man, it's incredible. You really have just bloomed. And I know you've even said that it's helped you as an attorney even, right? With some of the way it looks.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'm way more focused, way more clear. Much more energy, more positive. And these days can be hard. They can be draining, but being able now to do that with the clarity and understanding and let's be honest, patience as well, right? I mean, when you're talking to people who are in an emotional state, sometimes they're not necessarily at their best, or
sure, yeah.
And you have to be at yours and when you're tired and you're overweight and you're not sleeping, it's really hard to be at your best. And I feel like I'm there now. So man, 30 minutes is up. So I could talk to you forever. Maybe we do it again here real soon.
You too.
Thank you to all the listeners. Thank you for joining the Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law Show, hosted by me, yours truly, Jeffrey Bellomo, where we discuss all things estate planning and elder law and anything else we want to talk about. On today's podcast, we had a ball with my dear friend Jacob Sherman, talking all about being with Bellomo Associates and a part of the family, as well as my OPTAVIA coach in helping me lose 100 pounds and change my life for the best. And I'm just honored to have him here today. So I hope you enjoyed the podcast. And until next time, we'll see you real soon.